As I mentioned in the first segment that went up today, a former casino president of Donald Trump's Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City in the 1980s went on CNN this week and announced that at one point he had to actually scold Donald Trump because he walked into that casino at 1:30 in the morning, according to Jack O'Donnell, who is the former president, with Jeffrey Epstein and a 19-year-old girl, and took them all over the casino floor, which anybody who's been in a casino knows you cannot take anyone under the age of 21 onto the casino floor. If they step off of those walkways, onto the carpeted areas or whatever the rule is for that particular casino, it's not only bad for you who does it, but the casino itself can get into a lot of legal trouble, which is why Mr. O'Donnell says he had to go and scold Donald Trump. Here's what he said. He frequently came down to Atlantic City, the two of them, him and Epstein, to attend special events. In my mind, it was his best friend, from really the time I was there for 4 years. So that's not even the heart of it, but this is a guy who worked for Donald Trump, was the president at his casino, knew every time Trump came, knew who Trump came with, and he said him and Epstein were there all the time together. They were best friends. Now this, of course, as Aaron Burnett on CNN pointed out, this contradicts Donald Trump's claim that, well, I knew Epstein like everybody else in Palm Beach knew him, and I wasn't a fan of the guy. In fact, Burnett played the clip of Donald Trump literally saying that. And then O'Donnell responded by saying this. One incident that I think kind of proves their closeness and how much they hung out together. One time, a Monday morning, I came in and the commission was waiting. The inspectors were waiting in my office, and Donald and Jeffrey had come into the casino in the wee hours of Sunday morning, 1:30 in the morning, two buddies. They had 3 women with them, and the commission was waiting for me because they had determined that the women that they had brought down were underage to be in the casino. And when I asked them how they knew that, by the way, one of them was the number 3 ranked tennis player in the world. Okay, and this guy happened to be a tennis fan, and he said, Jack, I know she's 19 years old. To get on a helicopter with a friend and 3 other people and fly down to Atlantic City, you can connect those dots. They were pretty good buddies. O'Donnell said the commission decided to give Trump a break. They didn't want to fine him, but they told him, you got to tell him he can't do this. So O'Donnell continued. He said, they made me call him, and I had to, believe it or not, read him the riot act about this action because they gave him a break. I had to call him and say, look, they've given you a break this time, but if this happens again, the fine is going to be substantial, and it's going to be on your head. And oh, by the way, it's not going to look good, you and this guy Epstein coming down here with these young women. And I did tell him in that conversation, I don't think you should be hanging out with this guy, just so you know, and you certainly shouldn't be doing that in Atlantic City. This was the 80s, folks. Epstein wasn't arrested first time until 2006. And this was the 80s. So we're talking about potentially up to 20 years before Epstein was ever actually busted and Donald Trump was hanging out with him. This blows the whole narrative. This, by the way, in terms of the Epstein story, should be the biggest story we've ever gotten from it. Because Donald Trump's relationship with Epstein, as far as we knew, only went back to the early 2000s. This blows that whole narrative. This was the 1980s when Trump is hanging out with him and teenage girls. Maybe over the age of 18. We do know the one was 19, so obviously over 18. We don't know about the other ones, though. And we don't know how long they had, been with Epstein, perhaps since they were minors. We don't know any of those specifics. But you mean to tell me that we're supposed to believe Donald Trump when he says that this is all a hoax created by Obama and Comey and Christopher Wray and Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton? When you've been palling around with this guy since the 80s with the young girls? Bull. The fact that this is not getting wall-to-wall coverage drives me insane. This is the biggest story. This is the bomb. This is the bombshell. This is almost the smoking gun. Not quite, but almost. And I want this to be national coverage, not because everybody needs to know. Everybody else has kind of put two and two together. As Jack O'Donnell said, you can connect the dots, right? We've connected the dots. Most of the public has connected the dots. MAGA hasn't yet. They still think that Trump is the victim here and Pam Bondi is pulling the strings. Folks, Trump is at the heart of this cover-up right now because he was at the heart of Epstein's activities for nearly 40 years. Okay? Connect the dots, MAGA. We've laid them all out nice and pretty for you. We've numbered them so you can connect them easily. You don't have to be a genius to figure out what's going on. When Trump's former casino president tells you these guys were best buddies palling around with teenage girls, I don't think you need any more evidence than that. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support of us here at Fair and Balanced, and I want to introduce something completely new. We have now opened up memberships for our fans. And by signing up and becoming a member, you not only get exclusive early access to each day's videos, so you will get to see them a day before the general public, but you will also qualify for badges, emojis, special little icons. So please, we encourage everyone, if you want to help support the channel, please think about signing up and becoming a member. It is your support that helps keep us going. So thank you all very much. Check out the perks of membership, and I hope to see you all as members very soon.